So I was out on a ride with my girlfriend and she yelled suddenly that she couldn't shift up, and that was strange because we've been riding along and she'd been shifting up. And one thing that I had changed is we'd gone on a gravel ride in the woods, and we'd been riding these on the road for the last few weeks. I hadn't really been doing any gravel, and I'd switched the clutch on, and sure enough it feels very, very stiff, but I think that's just something else. But I can shift up and it just doesn't shift, and then if I take off the clutch it suddenly shifts. And yes, I know, the drivetrain is filthy. There's plenty of grease in there and grime that's not helping, but I suspect I probably need to do some maintenance on the clutch itself. So I'm going to give the whole thing a quick clean and then tear into this, see if that fixes things. I also need to sort out, there's a problem with the tyre, it's losing air. It's set up tubeless, but it's losing air over 2 days, so I'll probably need to redo the sealant on that. So I might do both things in the same video, but for now I'm looking at this clutch, and I've not done one of these before, so here goes. So I've got the disc covered to just keep the grime off it. Put some water and the Works Hydro Shot and some chain cleaner and some just general degreaser, and spray some of this on. I've got a brush somewhere, I'm going to agitate it a bit, just get out the most of it off. I mean, the chain is kind of greasy, but it's going to get grimy again soon, so I'm not going to do a deep clean of that, because I'm actually going to give this bike some overhaul in the next few weeks. So I'm just trying to remove the thicker stuff just to eliminate that as a source of tension. So we're just check it's still happening. So shifting down, nothing's happening. It's definitely still happening. I'll take some tension off. So there's two things. Apparently you can release the tension, although I think that's just in the mountain bike one. So I think on this one you have to take the plate off. So I guess that's the next step, to take that plate off. So getting closer once I've removed these the tension from these screws. It's useful to have a plate to hold your bolts in. Not a huge amount of torque on these. And there is an O-ring in there, so just to be aware of that. Just one more bolt lift to remove. And that is it off. I'm just going to put away this in there. It actually looks very clean. So there is this adjustment bolt. You can turn this, I believe, and change the pressure on the clutch. So if you engage the clutch, it's squeezing. This is camming around, and that cam basically squeezes these parts together, which tightens this metal band around the shaft. So why this is actually seizing up in this gear, I'm not sure, because it's actually looking very clean. Now, another point to diagnose is that this only happens in the higher gear, so it might be something to do with the chain line. So I'm actually going to put the cap back on for now, because it really doesn't look like it needs servicing. It's not a visual inspection. I don't want to take it out if it doesn't need it, and it looks very clean. So I'm going to put that back in and explore other alternative reasons why that could be causing a problem to downshift. So clutch on in the small ring. Shifts up fine. Oh, even in the small ring it's having trouble. Okay. That is not what I was told. So the other thing it might be is that there's just enough corrosion or just wear on these gear cables that, combined with the friction from the clutch, it's actually stopping it from having enough pressure to pull back. So effectively, when you, let me explain, when you're shifting up, sorry, shifting down, you're increasing the tension on this cable here, and then when you shift down, when you shift up and release the pressure, you can see it's actually not clicking, but this wire here is still taut. That's relatively taut. It should be already slacking off enough, and as if you see there, when I turn the pedal, it does actually release. But we do that in the big ring, and shift down. And then we shift up. It is working in those gears. So I'm going to shift down again, but I'm going to go all the way to the largest one and cross chain it. Okay, so I am getting some issue there in that it's actually too close. So it might actually be, well actually I can see that already. This is actually too close. So in this case what we need to do is wind this in. If I know where I did, oh yes, here we go. This is two, yeah, okay. So I'm going to wind this in, give it a bit of slack. This is the B adjustment screw. So that's turning, and now if I increase the gears, okay. So what I suspect has happened is she's been riding on her road wheels, which have a smaller cassette. I switched over to this cassette and I checked that things were shifting, but it used to have enough clearance. Something has changed since then, something has just gone slightly out of alignment, and it basically was rubbing, it was actually having an issue on these higher gears. So I misdiagnosed that as a clutch issue because I was told it was happening in all gears, and I thought it was happening in all gears, but it's only happening in the highest gear. And it's kind of related to the clutch in that the clutch was stopping it from shifting down. But in reality it was B-screw adjustment. So now that should go through all the gears. So just needed a couple of adjustments to the limits because the cassette is just in a slightly different position to the other wheel. There we go. So that's sorted. Now I'm going to take off the wheel and sort out the tyre. Always remember to release the clutch when you're taking the tyre off. Or the wheel. So yeah, that's looking very dry. I mean, I'm going to try and get to the bottom of the tyre, but yeah, it's all looking very dry inside. There's no evidence of sealant. I'm going to obviously take the tyre off and take a look at it, but I will just be replacing it with some more. Currently using this Effetto Mariposa Cafe Latex. This has actually gone in a lot of wheels. I'm probably going to try out some other stuff. I've got two other formulations I can try, but this one seems fine for now, so I'm going to replace it with some more of this. Let me know if you want to see a video about doing tubeless, and there's tons out there. But yeah, I'm just going to pop some more into the wheel, re-inflate it, and that should be it, and ready for a ride tomorrow. Yeah, so one last tip before I go. For tubeless setups, this is my setup right now, is a Beto air tank, and this works battery powered pump. So let's pump this up to the max, well, to close to the max, 150 psi or so, and that is plenty of air to get a tyre seated, etc. And while I'm fiddling with that, I can keep pumping more pressure into it, so it saves me having to stand here and get tired with a track pump. So yeah, that's what I'm using. Anyways, I will finish up here, and yeah, thanks for watching.